Дорогие дамы и господа, у меня замечательный гость, потрясающий шведский мультиинструменталист Ульф Johansson Werre. Он является профессором музыки в университете Упсала, замечательного шведского города. И у меня появился шанс взять у него небольшое интервью, которое я буду говорить на английском языке с ним и вам потом переведу. Ulf, thank you very much for time to find for the little interview, and please tell a little story of your career when you started. You said that you've been a piano player first. Oh no, you've been a drummer.
That's right. I started out playing the drums in a pop band. I started out with the drums when I was 5 years old, but then I had just pots and pans and in my mother's kitchen. And then I got a real sort of junior drum set, and we put together a band playing the tunes of the Beatles. And this was, I was around 6.5, 7 years old. This was 1963, exactly when Beatles came out with She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, and those records. So that was fantastic. And we didn't know any English. We didn't know anything about chords or music. And so I started out playing a little guitar, and then I was the drummer because the other one, they wanted me to play drums.
And you have a great sense of rhythm, so I understood.
Well, I also was the youngest, so everybody wanted to play guitar, so I had to play the drums.
That's right.
But we picked out the music all by ear, and we learned the English lyrics onomatopoetically. So for a long time, when I was in that age, I sang "Schlafs you, yeah, yeah, schlafs you," and I didn't understand what it was. And then later on, when I was like 18 and 19, I went back and listened to those records. Said, "Oh yeah, my God, it was She Loves You, of course." But we didn't know that by then.
It's happened with many languages.
Yeah,
Russians, yeah. they do "She's gotta." What's that? "She's gotta." She's got you, or whatever. Lots of these things. But I think the music of Beatles, somehow it's very melodical. And every time when I listen to you, when you play your solos, always melodies. So that's the good starting, I would say, at the age of 6.
Well, yeah, I think it was because the pop music of the Beatles, they had like harmonies that was very reminding of early jazz.
Exactly.
Beautiful turnarounds, and those subdominant minor 6 chords.
Exactly.
Beautiful and quite different, both harmonically and melodic to what all the rest of the pop music was by then. So I think it was a good start, and yeah, well, the sense of melody is to me very important. If you improvise, I always wanted to sound as if you have no accompaniment, you will hear the ideas of the harmonies changing when you play melody. So you're pushing forward.
How you got the idea to play many instruments in the room?
Well, if you have an inner voice in music, I don't think it doesn't matter so much what instrument you pick up. If you're interested in how does a drummer work, you try to play a little bit drums. It looks nice to play a chord on guitar. You learn to play some chords on guitar, and I choose between trumpet and. When I was 15, I wanted to play a wind instrument, and I tried a little trumpet, tried a little saxophone, but what I really got in love with the feeling. It's like a dance when you play trombone.
Oh yeah.
And it's so close to the human voice.
Oh, you mean Zug feeling this?
Yeah, it's so smooth and sensuous, and yeah, trombone is my instrument.
What mark of trombone do you play?
I play Martin trombone, but I have several trombones. I have an old con from, I think it's 1927, and I have 2 Kings from 1939, one from 1952, silver bell. So I have a lot of trombones, but this electric blue trombone as I use is a sponsor trombone from Martin, and I love that one. It really runs well.
You said when we had breakfast today, you said it's a great idea that if you drummer, you definitely should play piano, or if you're a piano player, you know, because of the combination, because of coordination, and this is something. It makes me play drums too, I guess.
It's a good start. I mean, if you play the drums, you practice to coordinate all your limbs. You know, you have 2 feet and you have 2 hands, and it's always possible to use different fingers, and you can do that on a hand drum.
Exactly.
You practice to have you have a sort of almost overqualified sense of rhythm when you come to an instrument with one note. So playing the trombone, I think it has been very important for me to have the rhythmic capacity from a drummer, and to learn chords and changes from as a piano player. And they are so different, piano and trombone. You know, piano is like you can do all the stuff on piano, but you have to do one thing on trombone, and that one has to be perfect in time.
Exactly.
To really promote the swing and all, you know, it's like singing with a good timing.
Yeah,
that is.
I wonder, Ulf, how many students do you have at this moment? And maybe you have, I guess, plenty of people.
Yeah, well,
you have such a fantastic knowledge of jazz. You know, my feelings when I listen to Ulf, he can play from the very early jazz to the bebop, hard bop, and to avant-garde. I mean, all styles are so certain, and it has lots of small semantic feelings. And Ulf, he can do that just like many people. I mean, many personalities in your playing. That's like a. I have never seen nobody who can do the same feeling.
Well, thank you so much, Gimer. I'm a little bit blushing when you say all this, but the thing is that if you hear something that you love, and I hear good things in ragtime, I hear good things in the sound of the 20s, swing, bebop, you know, Keith Jarrett.
But you dig it so deep, you know, every style, and you never mix that. You know, when we talk about musicians, everybody has his own, let's say, very recognizable feeling, whatever. But you are so flexible to be that, and that. Like, you know, I cannot count how many personalities you have inside.
Well, no, but it's.
I'm not mixing that with schizophrenic feelings.
No. I understand what you're saying, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm trying to find. I have one personality, which, you know, it differs. What parts of the personality you're using for different types of music.
Exactly.
And some types of music are very romantic. So if you have that inside yourself, you satisfy that need with some types of music. Other types of music are tough and intellectual, and if you have that inside yourself, you can promote that feeling. So different parts of yourself is, for me at least, I would not be able to just concentrate on one style. It doesn't.
Very good.
It doesn't feel like me.
Yeah, it's great.
No,
Ulf, what do you think about jazz in Sweden at this moment? Is it popular still, or is there any difference? Or it's the same category of people who is coming to the concert?
Well, of course, the situation is like the jazz clubs. Sweden has many jazz clubs,
right?
And every city has a jazz club, and it's run by people on a idealistic basis. They have other jobs, and then they are in a board for the jazz club just to promote the jazz concert in that city or town, and that's very interesting. It's a good system, and those clubs, in my opinion, it seems like they have a good crowd of audience coming all the time. It's a fairly old audience, and that is a problem to me. And I think that I think it's going to be fine anyway because Sweden has so many fabulous musicians and artists in different fields, different styles, and all that. So the interest is great, and what I'm so happy about to see that with young jazz musicians, like the son, the age of my son, he's 19 years old, and he goes to he has just made his first year at the Royal Academy of Music with jazz drumming.
Oh,
Yeah,
father. Happy
yeah.
father.
Oh, really happy father. And we play together. He's on a professional level, so he plays with my trio, and his friends are very interested now in going back and learning the classic styles of jazz,
Oh,
and that's very nice. For some 20 years, it was they didn't want to, or even the teachers said that there's nothing to find out before Coltrane.
oh, oh.
So they started out with Coltrane and went beyond that. Now they are looking for qualities much earlier, and so they can discuss Armstrong, Bix Beiderbecke, Lester Young, Count Basie, Duke Ellington. They have a wonderful knowledge of different types of music. Even if they don't really play it, they understand the qualities, and that's for me very important. And I hope that their friends will become the future audience. And I think that it has to come from that age. You can't have people around 70, 80 creating a jazz club for 20-year-olds. You have to have 20-year-old people to promote their own age with new jazz clubs and so on. And I think it's going to happen.
But I'm very happy that people they find interest into the music before Coltrane and let's say bebop before Charlie Parker, and because this music has a great timing. I mean the real swing, the real trios or whatever, and let's hope that someday people will understand both parts of jazz.
Right, I totally agree with you, and I think that even if you're not going to be a professional Dixieland musician, everybody should learn a little bit about Dixieland, because you can't just use chords and scales and then start blowing. You have to hear melodies in your head, and I do hope that young people get that knowledge, because it's such a wonderful thing to
It's the feeling, question of feeling as well.
And
And the melodies.
and creating good melodies with good rhythm, and then you can, if you have that, you have the whole field to start to look for your own personality or your own style. But if you start out, if you have that as a fundament, that goes like spreads in all fields,
Exactly.
and you can find new styles and sort of almost avant-garde music on a very musical basis.
It's influence your personality first of all. Yeah.
Truly.
Ulf, thank you very much, and good luck, and great pleasure to play with you.
Thank you so
Thanks a
much.
lot.
Thank you so much, Zhenia. And I say, go and listen to Zhenia's program, because this,
Thank you.
I just got to know about it, and I'm going to follow your blog.
Thanks a lot.
Ulf from Sweden.
Thank you. Bye bye.